Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The St. Louis Cardinals are in the pooper. A new power out west, and does Trev shoot the Central straight? Oh, it's a big F. Happy birthday, Trevor.
I'm fired up.
Cult leader Jake. Cole Tucker raking in AAA. Don't mind it.
He sent me a vid.
Don't mind it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Talkin'. First time you use it to save $20. Some interesting stuff going on Baseball Reference right now. Myself, Davis, Trevor Plouffe off of his road trip. First big roadie of the year. He's back home. Yesterday was his birthday, middle, June 15th. Trevor, how are you?
It's back. It's back. It's good to be back in the studio. MC Studio. Yes, I had a great birthday yesterday. I arrived Wednesday night at about midnight back to my house. So I guess that's really technically Thursday morning. So yesterday I was just like, hey, let's just have a nice chill day. Took the kids to sushi. Teddy had some practice, got some Thai food delivered. I didn't want to do dishes. Didn't want to cook. It's my birthday. Even though Olivia offered to make me a home cooked meal, I said, you know what? You just chill out. Yeah. We got other stuff to do.
Enjoy it with me. You know?
Yeah.
That's good. How are you doing? That was a little bit of a road trip, Trev.
It was fun. I had a good time. You know, the travel part sucks. Like, I want to be home with my family, but everything else is cool. You know, being around the guys and just seeing how, you know, the game hasn't changed too much. Everyone wants to talk about how the game's changed. The clubhouse is still the same. Guys are still the same, fired up, trying to figure things out. Baseball's so funny, man, because you see the highs and lows and you understand why people say, hey, let's have like an even temperament, because another game is coming, whether you want it or not, good or bad.
Yeah.
And you got to navigate it through the season. It's like, I see people all up in arms, like on Twitter about their team. The next week, they're like in a completely different headspace. Baseball is nuts, man. There's so many games. It's like, there's a reason people say, stay even tempered, have the memory of a goldfish, like, because you just got to. It's happening too often. And there's my speech.
Trev, you're absolutely right, and I'll throw myself under the bus a little bit, because in a two game, well, was mid for different reasons. Yankees Mets Subway Series.
Oh, that was a mid off. Holy mid off.
I June 13th at 8:09 p.m. Talkin' Jake tweeted, and by the way, like, we're like with Yes Network. We're like, we're in the circle of trust. Like, I can't, I got to be careful when I let the dog eat about the Yankees. We talk to Aaron Boone every week. Like, the players are in on it. I said, Yankees are a joke right now, and this organization has no idea. Might be showing the national audience. That was at 8:09 p.m. They were down 5-1 to the Mets, and they just booted a couple balls. At 8:33 p.m., I said this team is special, and it feels like 98. So it's tough, man. I don't know how the dudes do it. And you know what? Chris Rose will get a lot of love this episode, as he always does. He just had his Corbin Carroll interview this week, and one of the great clips that I loved was Corbin Carroll said he gained a lot of like outlook perspective from watching the game from the stands, which me and Jimmy always look back and we laugh when we were first hanging out with you, Trev, and you were watching from the stands and you looked like an alien. You were like, this is all new to me. Corbin Carroll was like, you know what? When I was in the stands as a minor leaguer, watching these star major leaguers like struggle and have bad at-bats, it makes that everyday grind like, and not getting caught up in, wow, am I 0 for my last 6? Guess what? Like, so was Bonds. So is Pujols. Like, everyone does that. So, I guess check out Chris Rose or even Baseball Today. Wow.
Chris Rose. Check it out for me.
Yeah.
I have one story. I got to mix it in. We got to get into the action.
Okay.
But I got one like heartwarming story that happened to me on the road. I'll figure out a time to put it in. Okay.
Okay. So mark that. Beebs. Make sure we don't miss that. Let's start talking some baseball because there's a team out west that kind of won me over a little bit. Cardinals. The Undertaker might come out, man. I'm sick of it.
Things are bad in St. Louis.
Things are worse than ever. Know where things aren't bad? Harry's. Hello, Harry, the sleekest razor in the game. Their innovative design delivers the same great shave you expect with German-engineered blades. Man, they're those German engineers. They make a good vehicle. They make a good flick. It includes a craft handle. That five blades on that bad boy. Holy smokes. Elevate your everyday shave. Step up your routine with Harry's. I shaved it down this morning. Looking good. I asked Joe's son Noah how old he thought I was yesterday. He guessed 20 years old. So that's a little bit of him being a kid. That's a little bit of me looking like a child. I wish he asked Jimmy's age. I'm going to ask him that next time I see him. Elevate your shave with the latest and greatest in Harry's razor handle lineup today. Get your $17 craft handle starter set. So it's nice, but you get it for just $10. Harrys.com/talkin. Harrys.com/talkin. There's a code in the or a link in the description. Trev, you're raising your hand.
This is for Harry's. You're welcome for this. Clearly they send out product to us, so we're familiar with it. I use it on my face. It's, gets me all lined up here on the neck as well. The other day, though, Olivia was like, hey, let me look at these razors.
Okay.
5 blades?
Yeah.
She's shaving her legs with them now, people. Smoothest legs I've ever felt in my life.
Okay.
I went there.
I'll stay away from it for now. But happy for you, happy for Olivia, as always. How's 37 feeling?
Are you all right, bro?
Any different? Sometimes a birthday will hit you, sometimes a birthday doesn't hit you. What, 37?
It was like
good?
It wasn't my birthday yesterday. Okay. 37 is a non-existent birthday.
Yeah,
everybody knows that.
Okay, that's a good thing. Because some of the sad birthdays, those are
those are coming for me, but 37 was like, whatever.
Come here. Those will chop you down. It's Friday. Let's do some National League baseball. And speaking of a resurgent team that might have just joined the party this season, the Philadelphia Phillies are hot in the streets. They dropped the first game, an electric game to my Snakes, 9-8. I mentioned that Corbin Carroll guy. Triple, couple hit by pitches, some benches clearing. We're getting the high T rolling. Well, guess what? The Phillies kind of feed off that. JT Realmuto just missed my standout, Phillies fans. He had a cycle. I'm a sucker for that. And I mentioned the pitching. Ranger Suarez is on a bit of a heater for those Phils. Bohm, Trey Turner, Castellanos, Schwarber. Yes. Bryson Stott. The Phillies, they are putting it together. They're on, I think they've won 10 of their last 12. They're above 500. Let's go, Philly. Summer is here. Oh, my God. The Giants sweep the Cardinals, and it ends in as ugly fashion as it can end. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Gallegos, oh no. It's out of the park. We're going to extra innings, and in extra innings, it gets even uglier. The Cardinals get swept. We have an Arenado in front of the media. We've got players only. Coach Trev phoned into his boy, so we're going to get everything on that. And hey, Giants fans, little sweep. They called up top prospect Luis Matos. Okay, Trev's Giants with a little juice. The Chicago Cubs, they sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates, and if they've got to go, now's the time. Marcus Stroman does the same thing he's done all year. Cody Bellinger comes back. Jameson Taillon has been on a little bit of a heater for the boys. Ian Happ be hitting. The Cubbies, they get a sweep. And if they're going to go, now's kind of the time. They sweep the Pirates. That's a high and tight National League. Oh, the blood is flowing over here. I don't know if it was the leg shaving talk. Trev.
That's all you get.
And that's fine. You know, my girl Jess went on the girls' room this week. I know you probably locked the bathroom and listened to that. The Atlanta Braves are in first place. 43-26. 38-31. Miami Marlins are in second place with the Fightin' Phils sneaking up. Like I said, a game above 500. They're playing good baseball. The New York Mets are 32-36. The Washington Nationals 27-40. The Pittsburgh Pirates are atop the NL Central, half game above 500. They're a half game up on Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good country. Cincinnati Reds, we'll get to them in Interleague Baseball. They're a game back of first place. The Chicago Cubs are 3.5 back. The St. Louis Cardinals have the worst record in the National League. You heard that right on June 16th. Arizona Diamondbacks remain atop the West, 41-28. The Dodgers are 39-30. San Francisco's 36-32 on a 4-game win streak. San Diego 33-35. Rockpile 29-42. Trev, this is a juicy, high and tight National League. I think there's a lot of IL. So let's check it off as we normally do. Cron Pod. Phillies. Benches are clearing. The Snakes are hot. You know, best record in the National League, Snakes. They win a close game the first night, but the Phillies rally. Crooked numbers in game 2. Extra innings, and then they win a 1-run game in the final. And the Phillies, they got that winning feeling going.
Yeah, I think you hit on the head there. I mean, they've been playing good baseball as of late. Their bullpen has been really good for them. So they've started hitting and winning games because of that. First game, you know, the Lovullo thing is an interesting topic. I don't know how far we want to go into it. He comes out defending his guy Corbin Carroll. Him and JT end up exchanging some words, and I talked about this on Baseball Today. I really had no problem how anybody handled it. Like Tori, like great job, like coming out and putting up for your boy.
All right.
And then JT's like, hey, bro, like we're not hitting him on purpose. So good on JT for sticking up for his boy.
Yeah.
And then Rob Thompson after the game's like, I would never do that. So he's like riding his high horse. Kind of love that out of Topper as well. It was an interesting situation, but you get the benches, you know, clearing. You know what the Phillies feed on? Testosterone.
Yeah.
That's a high T team. I mean, the Diamondbacks aren't exactly a low T team, but Philly's got that money, that bank account high T. Next day, 15-3, they come out swinging. You got position players pitching. You woke the Phillies up. They go on to win the next 2 games. I mean, Ranger does his dang thing, 7 innings. If you get Ranger Suarez to really get going here and be like a guy who we all know he can be, Phillies are a dangerous, dangerous team because they're starting to hit. Like Schwarber's been doing his thing. Interestingly enough, as much as he's been hitting, he still has like a negative WAR on the season. So,
yeah,
you know, he's still got room to grow. And then Trey Turner hasn't even left yet. So this Phillies team is dangerous. Look out. Did they get woken up by a little benches clearing brawl? Probably not. They were already awake, but it didn't hurt. This team looks good right now.
Yeah, Trev, it's kind of every facet, man. Taijuan Walker has been great lately.
Yeah.
Ranger Suarez has been great lately. You mentioned Dirty Craig Kimbrell. His past few outings have been clean. That when you put that with, again, I look at FanGraphs a lot, and it gives the last 7 days power rankings for the players, which I don't know. I don't think it's a perfect system, but it gives you an idea if guys are playing good or not in the last couple days. In the last 7 days, it has Bryson Stott as the 7th best player. It has JT Realmuto as the 14th. It has Harper, Castellanos, Turner, and Schwarber as top 52 players. So, yeah, that's 7 guys in the lineup that have been playing at a top 50 player rate in baseball, basically. So, that, with the starting pitching I mentioned, a little help on the back end, That's how you win games. That's when we talk ourselves in circles whenever a manager gets mentioned. Because basically, if anyone in this Talking Baseball shot right now was managing the Phillies and they were performing like this, you're probably going to rack up some dubs.
It's interesting because for a long time, the Phillies were struggling at the beginning of the season. We marked like June, because of what they did last year. And here they are in June doing exactly what they did last year.
Yeah.
Going. So I don't know what it is, what they got going on in spring training. Are they tiring everybody out? They just don't care the first 2 months. I don't know what it is. But here they are now, running. It's good to see. And Arizona, I mean, obviously a very good team, a very difficult team to beat, to keep down, and they were able to do it.
And man, part of the reason I've got the juice today, last Friday I was like, damn, this is a juicy up. This Friday, same thing, and it's this month of June, and it's why the Cardinals, who we're going to get to in a second, are such a hot topic that, like, okay, Phillies, you're kind of good for a little bit. They play 3 against Oakland, which is now a little different, but next week, I just got hype. They're doing Atlanta and the Mets. Like, some NL East shit is going to get worked out next week, and I'm excited for that.
I thought it was Monday.
Snakes are fine. You thought today was Monday?
Yeah, I was like, man, we got good energy for this Monday app, but it's Friday. Look, you talk about firing on all cylinders. 10-2 run. The Phillies are hitting 289 with an 847 OPS, scoring almost 6 runs per game during it, and they're getting the pitching like we mentioned. I mean, that's how I think they've won 4 straight series. That's how you go.
And everything good we just said about the Phillies, two of those games are 1-run games, one in extras for my Snakes. So we're fine. And you mentioned high tea both ways. The Snakes, they're kind of that Scottsdale bachelor party high tea. The Phillies are like Saturday morning, already mowed the lawn, the grill is hot. They're that kind of testosterone. I'll let you.
Yeah, let me marinate on that one because
I'll let you think about that.
You're right. Scottsdale bachelor party high tea for the Diamondbacks. I like that.
They're kids.
It's not too expensive. You can go out and have a good time down there in Old Town. The freaking Phillies are flying to, like Costa Rica on a PJ.
Okay. I like that. Trev. The Giants sweep the Cardinals. Giants, let's check the box quick because it deserves to be checked because they're the ones that did it, right? They're the ones that...
Yes. Oh, yeah.
2 strikes, 2 outs. Yaz hits the homer. Tyro doesn't stop. Lamont Wade. Look what Patrick Bailey's doing this year. And, man, Luis Matos, like, that dude's a real prospect. So now he's in the mix for them. That Giants baseball, they're sitting there 36-32. That's okay. This time of year, that's fine. We can do that. Fangraphs has them 53% to make the playoffs, which, again, we didn't know where this Giants season was heading. The whole offseason, it was they missed on getting guys. Go look at their little snapshot. You can argue they have a top 10 offense, a top 10 rotation, and a top 10 bullpen. Like, it's all of them might be 10th, but... Guess what? There's a formula there. So a little love for your Giants before we get into St. Louis.
They're just stringing hits together. They're hitting the ball extremely well, up and down the lineup, putting good at-bats together. You mentioned Yaz, you mentioned Lamont. They're just kind of having professional at-bats and stringing them together. And then you get that, like we said, mixed with that pitching, and you're going to win series. You're going to sweep teams like the Cardinals. Mitch Haniger kind of breaks out of a little mini slump, and then he gets hit by my boy Jay Flair, fractures his forearm. I've been there, dude. You'll be all right, but it's gonna be a while. That's tough because I really like watching him play. Brandon Crawford is, I think he's one of my favorite players in the big leagues. I love shortstops. I'm partial to that, but he's so consistent. And then when I found out that he's never played another position other than shortstop, that really got me. So he's got the pitching under his belt. He had a good series here. And then Patrick Bailey, rookie coming up, like kind of being the guy that Bart was supposed to be.
Oh,
no shots fired.
Yeah.
I don't, but I guess I just shot something at you. You come up and you have someone take a job over like that. It's worth mentioning. And he's been a big part of why they are where they're at. And yeah, forget the offense, with the pitching that they have, like this is a real deal, contending team. You can't sleep on the Giants, man. Like they know how to play baseball. They know how to win. They're a fun team to watch.
People have heard my Buster Posey rant a couple times with that 108 win Giants team. The other thing that I always mention, the bullpen was so good on that team. Go look at my guy Doval's stats right now. He's silly, and it looks like between Rogers, Brebbia, Rogers, fucking both Rogers. I forgot about that. That's so fucked. Gabe Kapler still posting stuff on the gram that's like, do not tell your girl about Gabe. And like also, again, think about all the managers like standing in a line in baseball and your manager posting some of the stuff Gabe posts on the gram. Like, whoa. Giants are going, they've got their NL West. This is what I'm talking about. They are going Dodgers, Padres, Snakes. Like, fire me up for some NL West Giants baseball, as it looks like they're kind of peaking and going at the right time. And you're right about Brandon Crawford, dude. Next Wednesday, me, BBD, and your boy Foolish Baseball, we did an all old MLB draft this year, 33 plus. And guess what? Shortstops, you're down to like Brandon Crawford, who not having the best year, but guess what? If he won Player of the Month, I don't think that shocks anyone. Like he still can have that in the tank. Then you're going to like John Birdie and Joey Wendell. So we forget how grueling that position is, and yeah, he's either at shortstop or he pitches. Yeah.
We like to give shout outs to teams that have long lineups. Jakey Analytics.
Yes.
The more good hitters you have in the lineup, the better you're going to be. It makes sense.
Thank you.
Go check out the baseball reference page for this lineup. I mean, there's a few guys with, Patrick Bailey only has 75 plate appearances. Austin Slater only has 51 plate appearances. But even if you take them out, they still have 8 guys with an OPS plus over 100. Like, this is a long lineup that can get you in a bunch of different ways. I mean, Jock is doing his thing. Yeah. How does this guy have a 923 OPS and like nobody talks about him? I guess that's our job.
Yeah.
JD Davis doing it. Your guy, Young Prince, is that what you call him? Tyro?
Young Prince. Tyro, man. Dude.
Up and down the lineup, professional ABs.
You mentioned about Patrick Bailey, man. Guys that win jobs. Like, you're not Luis Matos. You're not the top prospect. You're not going to get, 2 years of run and we'll figure it out. And you do it. Because Thairo Estrada was kicked from the Yankees because they were like, well, we got Glaber and we got these other, we're the Yankees. I don't know about Thairo Estrada cracking the lineup.
We just got Rougned Odor for free, so DFA.
It's kind of the beauty of baseball, right? Like, everyone's you'll get a look if you get up there, and if you get a look and you run with it, and that's kind of Giants baseball. On the other side of the field.
Oh, God.
The Saints.
Honestly, this is where we should be short. Honestly.
Yeah.
We talked about this team enough. What is you doing, baby? Like, what is going on there? Their team defense has gone from some of the best in the big leagues to some of the worst in the big leagues. They're tied for last with the Royals, with the A's for defensive run saved. And that takes into account positioning. They're not positioning well. They are putting guys in bad spots. Nolan Arenado has a negative defensive run saved season right now. Nolan Arenado.
Whoa.
It's a mess over there. It's an absolute mess. Any way you slice it up, dude.
Trev,
it seems like the leadership void is real, which is crazy to me because you have some like Hall of Famers who have been through some shit on that team.
Well, it
ain't working.
And that's what's so funny. A Nolan Arenado presser the other day is going, a little viral. And Hey, like be honest with yourself. If you're a baseball fan out there, how many times have you seen Arenado pressers? Like he's, if you're a Rocks fan or I'm sure a Cardinals fan the past couple of years, you've seen some Arenado post game interviews. But like he's kind of not that guy. Arenado loves playing ball. I remember Tim Melville, who Whit Merrifield, reminder, instantly said is the weirdest teammate he's ever had. Talking baseballs, Tim Melville. Tim Melville had a cup of coffee with the Rocks and he was shoving. And, we talk about locker room dynamics a lot. Like, Tim Melville can't just kind of go up to Nolan Arenado and be like, "What's up, man? How you doing, Pop?" Like, you kind of got to earn your keep a little bit. After his third start, Arenado went up to him and was like, "Hey, your next throw day. Like, I want to see it." Like, Arenado's wired to be one of the best ever. That's why he's been one of the best ever. So, yeah, him getting in front of the media and talking about execution and all that, like, that's not where he wants to be. He wants to be playing ball and winning games. And it's, and hey, little reminder, like, he had an opt-out this winter that he turned down to stay in St. Louis because they're the St. Louis Cardinals and we do things the right way and we win. He would have brought home a lot more money this offseason.
Got that extension.
Yeah. With that being said, Trev, you're right. I mean, we should only give them so much time. You talked to your boy Jay Flair, and I don't know what you can discuss or can't discuss, but
I'm not discussing anything in that conversation. We talked about a bunch of different stuff, but it's the vibes aren't great.
Right.
I'll give you that much,
Yeah.
obviously. So it was after the Lamont Wade Jr. thing, and he didn't really have much to say about that either. He said, "Look, man, I'll tell you what he said on that."
Okay.
He was, Lamont was kind of off the base, jumping around, doing a bunch of things. He thought he might have been relaying signs, so I don't really care about that. That's our fault if you're doing that. All he said was, if you're going to go, just go. Just go. He said he was challenging him to go to second base. Then there was a bunch of miscommunication, then benches cleared, an umpire got right in his face, and stuff like that's silly to me.
You mentioned...
But maybe they fucking need that. Maybe they need a few guys just get thrown out. Like, let's get some fire.
Trev, it's where you mentioned that level-headedness with baseball. Like, if you're the Cardinals, I think you got to go past that, right? Like, let's get in a brawl, or let's trade, or let's, a new voice. Like, we talked about that a lot of times, that if you're at this part of the season, and by the way, like, I came in here pretty gung-ho. I was doing my, like, Arthur walk down the street. Like, I'm telling the Cardinals they're dead. I kind of can't do it. Because 8.5
you can.
8.5 games in June is nothing. And they've played the worst baseball of all time. So I'm not saying I believe. Like, I was being braggadocious about my little betting ticket for a while. I don't believe in shit, like, with this team. Second shit cuss word. And that's not normally a go-to cuss.
We gotta stop.
It's not normally a go-to cuss word for me. I don't know. Cardinals, like, get in a brawl, trade, do something. Because we can't keep talking about you because you keep losing. And
why don't you go into the clubhouse and just pick a fight with somebody?
Tyler O'Neill, let's do it. Fire hydrant style. Just two thumbs.
If you want your ticket to cash, go do that.
Just two thumbs bumping into each other. Go Giants, go.
That was like you and Jimmy in college.
Never really wrestled. Anyways, Trev, is it the final NL series? It is, and it stays in the Central, and I know there's going to be some other Central talk, but hey, a little bit of Cubs love, because last episode I was saying that they've been hidden by the umbrella that is the St. Louis Cardinals, because I think they were a game up on them. Couple wins, couple losses the other way. Your Chicago Cubs are 3.5 games out of the Central, and this is a team that everyone was saying, like, ooh, I'd love to add Bellinger, or maybe we could trade for Stroman. Well, if they're in shouting distance, they ain't gonna do that because they're the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, they raked this series essentially. I mean, they put up 28 runs in 3 games. Pitching was exactly what they needed as well, and they get a sweep of the first place Pirates. Kind of like, what is you doing, baby? You get up there, you got the lead in the division, and you go into Chicago and get swept. I'm going to talk more about the Central
Yeah.
Divisions. I have a Tolkien Baseball Award centered around the Central Divisions.
And the Reds are coming up too, and they're a whole part of the conversation. So let's table it for a little bit, and let's talk some American League baseball. And the American League sure is brought to you by Blue Moon. Those Yankees Mets tweets I talked about before. There might have been a Blue Moon involved while I was letting that bad boy rip. Created in Coors Field, literally where the Rocks play ball. America's pastime deserves a bold, unique beer. Baseball's back, by the way. Like, NBA's kind of slipping. I mean, football's a whole nother world, but baseball's back.
Why do you say NBA
literally
slipping?
ended.
So it's over?
Go to my Nugs who are out there. No, it's just the NBA regular season, man. It's brutal. Between the rest days and injuries, like, it's just playing games. Like, look at the Heat. Anyways, know what brings the heat? That Valencia orange peel.
Oh my gosh.
My.
Don't give me a navel.
Oh.
Only Valencia.
Blue Moon isn't just another beer. It's a whole different experience. Visit get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Find Blue Moon's delivery options. Have it delivered right to the door. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. There's a link in the description. There always is, man. Just always is.
Can I say something about the last series before we move on?
Sure.
The Marcus Stroman versus the Cubs saga that's happening right now. I'm on Marcus's side here. I think what he's doing is winning, because this is clearly a negotiation tactics on both sides, and Marcus Stroman is winning it because the way he's pitching.
We're calculated.
If you're performing, you can call out a team and say, "Hey, I'm trying to be here. The fan base is behind me. They love me. I am putting up the numbers. So what's up?"
Yeah,
and the Cubs being like, "Oh, we're not gonna do anything. We're not changing our position. We don't comment on this stuff." That ain't winning it, bro.
Yeah. No, fans love to hear that.
Yeah. A guy's like, "Hey, I love the city and the organization and everything that's going on, and I want to be here. And look at my numbers. I might even start the All-Star game." I mean, probably not, but you know what I'm saying.
Conversation.
The city's behind you.
Might start all JM team. Let's head to the American League. And we're heading out west, Trev, and this is the series I have circled. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, that play in LA in Anaheim, took 3 out of 4 from the Texas Rangers. A dramatic 12-inning game to get it started. Shohei, stop it. 2-homer day at the office. Your boy Neto, I know you're all in on him. The Halos, 12 innings, back and forth, fun game. They win the first, and then they win 2 out of the next 3, including it ends on a Shohei start day. Him and Evaldi throwing the pill. Boogity, boogity, boogity. The game that the Texas Rangers won, Tavares, Simeon continues to go. My goodness, the year he is having. But the Halos take 3 out of 4 from the big, bad Texas Rangers in the West this year. We got to talk about this one a lot, and we will a couple times in the show. 2 powerhouse teams also met up out west. The Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland Athletics, your hottest team in baseball. They win the first 2. Caprillion gives them a good start. Opener day followed by Hogan Harris, Brent Rooker, Shea Langeliers. These Oakland A's cannot be stopped until they get stopped by Manny Margot, Yandy Diaz. My guy Luke Raley snapped the twig on the field. That's always a dramatic moment. Rays bounce back because they're the Rays. Our guy Glasnow's in there. Little John Boy Media behind the scenes. Chris Rose and Tyler Glasnow meeting in person for the first time today. Chris Rose was all horned up about that. And can I be honest? So was I. Rays and A's split a 4-gamer. Back on the East Coast, the Baltimore Orioles They take 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays. The offense goes in game 1. They get to my guy Bassett, and Trev, your guy, Gunnar Henderson. He won't stop. He gets his first grand slam. His numbers are silly on the month. The game that Toronto wins, it's behind your other guy, Jose Berrios, who's just turned it around this season. 7.2 shut piece. He just outdeals Kyle, who was being a little bratish, but the Orioles win the rubber match. Rushman, Austin Hayes, these baby birds, man. Good to see them getting their mojo back. And that's what happened in the American League. A lot of IL, people. A lot of IL. Catch my breath for a second. Bad train experience this morning. Tampa Bay Rays, your first team to 50 wins, 50-22, a 694 win percentage, plus 142 run differential. The Baltimore Orioles are 5 games back of them with the second best record in the AL. That's a reminder. They've been doing that this year. Yankees are 39-30. The Blue Jays are game and a half back of them, 38-32. Sox are a game under 500. Twinkies running the Central, 35-34. The Guard Dogs are 32-36. White Sox, what are they, 5.5 games back of the Twins? Tigers, okay. Royals, ho. Texas Rangers still control the West at 42-26. Houston Astros are 39-30. Same record as the Yankees. How do you like that? The Angels are 39-32. Mariners a game below 500, and the Oakland Athletics, yeah, they had their hot streak. Maybe they'll ride it out. Better record than the Royals. Like, that deserves to be pointed out. Everyone was killing Oakland, and they've been better than the Royals. Trev, we started out West, and this was the series I was teasing a little bit because it does matter. And I've given a couple weird Jakey speeches about how big this June is because there's so many teams in it, and like the Mets are still being Metsy, and you can jump around baseball and feel each team's vibe. This was a massive month for the Los Angeles Angels. And they take 3 out of 4 from the Texas Rangers, who, you know, we've been serenading with them with love, and the lineup and the pitching and every way they hit you. Angels take 3 out of 4. Shohei is going insane. And it becomes that thing of like, you talk about talent on the field, and we talked about how talented these Texas Rangers are now. The Angels have the talent. We just don't believe in the laundry. And I think they're 8-2 in their last 10. Like, it's hard for us to believe in the Halos until they show us, and they're getting to the point that they're starting to show us.
You got to explain the laundry thing to me. I don't get
the
that
uniform, man. We've all been burnt by the Angels. Like, they don't give off winning vibes normally.
This was your reference when you said if they were wearing a Giants uniform, this roster, you'd be so much more into it.
Yes.
Okay. Got it now. I don't want to go too much into Shohei because I think you're going to talk about him later in the show. But this was the Shohei show. I mean, are you kidding me? The way he's matching his sleeves with a uniform now got me going. He had the gray on gray in the first game. I mean, where he's hitting balls, Oppo like that, it doesn't make sense. Every once in a while, you get a guy that has, Oppo pop. We always say, like, man, that looks like a right-handed pulled the ball. A right-hander with massive pop pulled that ball. He's going Oppo doing that. And what's interesting is, like, the guys, like, a couple of the guys who have the most pop I've ever seen in the big leagues come from the Asian leagues. Byung-ho Park in Korea, the way he went Oppo was crazy to me. The way Shohei can go Oppo is crazy to me. And both these guys were bigger guys, but I don't know if there's something in the swing mechanics. It's nuts, man. You have to just applaud what Shohei can do, how far he can hit the ball the other way. It's crazy. Nobody is doing that besides him in today's game. Oppo like that. I mean, maybe Aaron Judge.
Not a not a bad thrower of the baseball too.
No, he's
and
but the Angels are a problem, man. Like they can again, like their lineup has gotten a lot longer. As of late, you're getting Rendon back. What Mickey Moniak's been able to do, they're able to string together those good innings because their lineup isn't just dropping off. I mean, you have Wallach doing his thing in this series, Renfroe doing his thing, even Neto coming around. Like they're becoming a well-rounded team, this Angels team. And this was an important series because I don't want to go too much into it because we talk about this so much, but like this is it. Like Shohei in an Angels uniform, most likely this is it. And it could either go one of two ways. Like they keep him and it's like a dud of a bang at the end. There's like the firework goes off, but it doesn't really, reach its height, and it's just like, oh man, like that was it. Or they keep performing the way they have been as of late, and they roll into the playoffs for the first time with Mike Trout and Shohei. And even if they lose him, I think it's still like a huge victory for the Angels. And maybe that puts them in contention to keep, I don't know. But like they have to win series like that, like this, for that to happen. And 3 out of 4 for the Rangers in Texas is a very nice feather in your cap.
I'm gonna be soft for a moment. I was getting a little emotional shower thoughts this morning that I was like, man, I'm going to talk baseball today with Trevor Plouffe. I was texting. I got pretty high last night. I was texting Chris Rose. And Rose took pictures with his sons and with Bieber and Tristan McKenzie, and I was like, I love how horny that makes Chris Rose. Chris Rose's sons are like massive sports fans, like on any scale. They're Chris Rose is like he might be one sports fan ever.
Might be.
That I was looking at those pictures and I was just like so happy for Chris Rose, dude. The Rally Monkey Angels times, some of the kids listening have no idea. That place was a zoo.
Yes.
That place was a zoo that I just got chills. And this is so soft, but it's also like the reason why I'm here. If the Halos get some playoff games in that stadium with Shohei and Trout, the place is going to be electric. It's the compliments we give Toronto for being a nut house when they host playoff games. Like the Anaheim has that in the bag that because dude, they've got 3 with Kansas City coming up. They went 15-13 both of the first 2 months. They've got the chance to have their like crooked number month and get going. 6th in OPS offensively. Bullpen ERA, they are 5th. Not where you normally jump with the Halos, but Estevez, who was a hell of a snag for them. Davinsky being reborn back there. Jose Soriano, I'll be honest, not in my book. Rule 5 from Pittsburgh, but he's been giving them some. So right now they're off their formula. Some offense, some bullpen. And Trev.
They're 1 game back of a wild card spot from your Yankees, and they're going to pass them because the Yankees are abysmal. Sorry.
Okay, that felt kind of rooted. I kept saying like one good team is going to be left out of this AL playoff race. Right now, Toronto's a game and a half out. The Angels are a game out. The Yankees, and as you say, they're a game back from the Yankees. The Houston Astros, who haven't been as Astro-y as they'd normally been. And then like the computers still don't believe in the Orioles and stuff. It's messy, dude. And that's without mentioning the Seattle Mariners that were supposed to be like the start of their next step. They're 5 games back. They're tied with the Sox. So the AL, whoa. And that's, again, the part of this that I love for the Halos is whatever trade's on the table, they're going to go for it because this is the time. They called up 2 kids without playing minor league baseball, basically. This might be the last year with Shohei that I'm into it. I'm into it.
I'm into it too. Ben Joyce, by the way, I guess it came back no structural damage in his arm. Which is very nice to hear.
That is good news. That is good news. And Rangers fans, guess what? I don't think you care because, like I said, the Astros haven't been. You want to win every series. You care. Corey Seager having his best stretch as a Ranger, which is a reminder their electric start they got off to was without a guy who could arguably be their best player. In their last 12, 429, 491, 796. Almost 1.3ing. So they'll be all right. Trev, it's a little unfair to the series because the Rays bounce back and they raise, and that's obvious, ATO. We haven't gotten your thoughts on here about the reverse boycott. And I know you talked about it on Baseball Today a little bit, but I would love to get your thoughts as a proud former Oakland Athletic.
Yeah, getting into the series, we're going to talk about this one a little bit later in the show, second half of the show. As far as the reverse boycott, I thought it was cool. Obviously, it's a bunch of people united together in a cause. Is it going to change anything? Did it change anything? No. But I told Chris Rose, like, if you get to see that place, filled up and you get to see how loud it can be. I mean, you're talking about Rally Monkey Angels and all these places that can really go, like Toronto, like put a good team in Oakland and watch playoff baseball. It might be the loudest place. Those fans are nuts. So they packed the house. It was great. The A's did their thing. Like, that's one of those games where you're like, most of the time when you have something like that where the city is rallying around the baseball team, like, they're going to win a game. And they went out and won that one. Like, Laureano steals third, scores on the fielder's choice, like kind of like AZ baseball right there, if you will. I thought it was great. And, I feel for the people in Oakland because it looks like it's pretty much confirmed that they're leaving. They're going to Vegas. It was a messy situation. It's been going on since I played there.
Forever, man.
We're talking 6 years ago. They were talking about building a new stadium, and Dave Cavall was kind of new there, and he was jumping up and down at A's Fest, and he was like, "We're bringing a stadium. We're rooted in Oakland." They came out and said that. And then, was it all BS? Like, maybe, probably. For some reason, Vegas has this calling to these major league sports owners. I don't know if it's gonna work, dude. Vegas is a weird town. It's a weird town. There's not a lot of people that are from Vegas. You're gonna be rooted in Vegas? It's funded by tourists.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a bunch of other fans coming to the games. I don't know. We'll see. It's mostly has to do with real estate and all the surrounding areas. Then the name.
Yeah.
I thought the boycott was great. I mean, for fans to be able to organize that on their own against, obviously the A's didn't want it to happen. MLB Network surely didn't want it to happen. I don't even think they were allowed to show highlights on it. I will give one shout out to Dallas Braden, who, he's the voice of the A's. And, for a lot of people, he personifies what they're about. He's from the area, Stockton 209 guy. He's been incredible during this whole process, giving the A's fans the love that they deserve. And, it's just a sad time, man.
There's been a couple nights on the couch where I've wanted to text Dallas, and I'm going to do it because, it was
he would love it.
It was before this win streak, so it's been electric. But, Trev, we're providing some entertainment to baseball. Everything now has more entertainment value to it. It's our whole society. We want to be entertained. That, there's kind of the old joke of even 3 years ago, you'd flip over a couple broadcasts and it would be like, oh, there's a deep drive to right field and it's in the bullpen, a home run. That'll be 2 runs on the board. And you're like, come on, man. Wake up. And the fact that the Oakland Athletics, again, we're on a historic all-time bad pace, but they get to be entertained by the rhythmic stylings of Dallas Braden every night. That's awesome for them. And, dude, it's awesome for him that he's in it and he wants to be in it. Because think about, there'd probably be, okay, flashback another 10 years, there'd be a couple broadcasters doing those games that would be like, basically feel like dead ducks. Like, this franchise is literally trying to lose. Like, do I want to be here? Do I even want to be associated with this? And Dallas does, which, that's awesome.
I got one more thing on it.
Sure.
And if you're an Oakland A's fan, earmuffs.
Oof.
You're not going to want to hear this. But this is just me trying to keep it as real as possible on this show. Rob Manfred comes out and says maybe the most diabolical thing that he's ever said. And he said it was nice to see for what this year is like an average attendance at a baseball game for one night in Oakland. Like, I'm on Oakland's side here, but that's a hell of a line. Holy. Like, who cooked that one up for him? That was clearly not a Rob Manfred line. Someone was like, hey, Rob, do you want to really twist the knife a little bit? Let's just say this. Diabolical by you, Rob.
Yeah. He had one in the chamber there.
They consult Jimmy on that one?
Sheesh.
Cowboy media.
And like, is he gonna like lean into that thing now that he's got the pitch clock win under his belt? Is he like just gonna lean into everything else?
Yeah, I'll tell you another Jakey deep track thought the other day. Starting a show just called People and just talking to people for a little bit because I like people. Who is Rob Manfred?
What do you mean?
Like, literally. Like, I know the guy likes golf. Can he
Travis Scott?
If we played golf for 5 hours, could he be a good hang?
No.
Like, is it all just a cover? Like, I have no idea. You're probably
never gonna know. Just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
I think you're okay with
that.
You're
felt
fine.
kind of rooted in Oakland. A couple guys I want to shout out quick. Esteury Ruiz, 33 swipes leading baseball, the rookie for Oakland. That's awesome. He's tying some records with Ricky Henderson, so like that's always special. And by the way, the Rays who end up splitting this series, and we barely mentioned yet, Taj Bradley, big prospect for them, strikes out the first 6 batters he faces in that game. He strikes out 11. And again, when you Rays, high T, we mentioned they're a different kind, they're their own kind of high T. We saw McClanahan pitching in a playoff game like before he pitched in the regular season. Did I remember that right?
I believe he's debuted in the World Series. We saw it.
Their starting pitching is starting to brew. McClanahan, Eflin's been incredible. Glasnow's back. Taj Bradley. That's without mentioning my guy, Yanni Chirinos, and what could be the best offense in baseball. So they're still doing their thing. Pete Fairbanks with the black eye from his kid. Awesome. My dude. Teaching life lessons, playing pool basketball. And that's kind of what life's really about. You ever get the pool basketball hoop, Trev? Or is it in play at all?
No, I don't really. Well, we've had one.
Yeah.
Like a floating one, but it didn't get used a lot. Mostly when I'm in the pool with the kids, I'm either throwing them high in the air or we're doing diving catches, which is my favorite.
Yeah. That's better
Classic.
than pool basketball, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But I will say, we had some high school phases. No rules, like guys drowning each other and stuff. It was intense. I kind of hated it. Anyways, Orioles take 2 out of 3 from your Toronto. You just saw them in person last week. For me, the story, and Trev, you touched upon this last episode, is Gunnar Henderson breakout.
Oh boy, yeah.
Because just because think about that, the Orioles who were upstart and good, and Adley Rutschman's Orioles, they now had a guy that went from being like an inconsistent rookie to being one of the best players on the team. And that's got to be a cool feeling for Gunnar Henderson. That's got to be a cool feeling for the Orioles. But like that just adds another tier now. Kind of instead of us saying like, hey, and Gunnar Henderson's a top prospect and he's doing some things. Like, no, he's been one of if not like the best hitter in baseball this month.
808 OPS now on the year. Yes, he hits the grand slam. You said Adley Rutschman's Orioles. I say Aaron Hicks's Orioles.
BBD's going to be mad he missed that, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Did Aaron Hicks hit 2 homers in this series? I know he hit 1. Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Orioles are probably happy with where they're at. I don't think like anyone's really talking about them anymore. Before it was like, oh my gosh, have you seen what the Orioles are doing? Can they keep it up? Are they going to continue to do it? And they just have 18-9 in April, 16-12 in May, 8-4 in June. Like they're winning. And like get used to it, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a great series win here for them. The first game is the Gunnar Henderson game. Next game, Barrios comes in, shuts him down, has a no-hitter into the 7th. And it was interesting on that. Adley Rutschman ends up breaking it up. It's a 1-0 game. Ball to Kiermaier. Kiermaier, I think, was like, hey, we need to win this baseball game. I could go after this, and I could maybe catch it.
The sheriff's got a shot at it.
But if I don't catch this ball,
right,
Adley's going to be on third base. And, so for the game, I think he let up. I think you saw Jose Barrios being like, oh, man, like, can't you do that thing that you always do out there?
Yeah. But
a smart play by Kiermaier. Blue Jays end up winning that game. And then, hey, let's win the series 4-2 Orioles in the rubber match. And just another notch on their belt, man. In the AL East, taking care of business. Toronto like sliding a little bit. They lose to my Twins. They lose to the Orioles. It's they're doing it, man.
Another thing that just jumped out the sheet to me, and by the way, Kiermaier just missed robbing that grand slam by Henderson, which is funny because we talked about Varsho just missing a bunch of robberies lately. It's like,
they got a lot of that,
fellas, reach out. Couple quick hitters. Baltimore in the first game, 17 hits. That's their season high. No position player pitching either. Like that's 17 hits. Their 23rd comeback win of the year. That leads baseball. And Trev, a little Orioles Blue Jays, because, again, these Blue Jays, they're in their wheelhouse and those names and Vladdy and everything. Orioles are 5-1 against the Blue Jays this year. So Orioles are ahead of the Blue Jays in the standings. You guys are going to play each other 6 more times, something like that. They've had your number to the tune of a 5-1 record. The game you won is, behind a Barrios almost no-no. Like, Blue Jays. might just be the Blue Jays and my damn Yankees leg wrestling for a last wild card spot with the Angels, which that's crazy on multiple levels.
I mean, I watched the Blue Jays, and I think they're a very impressive team. Like, I expect them to be very much in the mix. So I know like a little bit of a rough stretch right here, but they're too good of a team. They really are. Especially if
they really are.
They really are. Some of the bullpen stuff I think needs to be worked out. We'll have to figure that out. They have some guys back there. That was one thing I wasn't too impressed with. But last thing on this series, because we were like, we need to go, bro. We have a lot of IL games. We have the second half of the show. Tyler Wells, leading the league in WHIP, doing it. We question the Orioles pitching staff. Is it enough? It's been enough. I wouldn't call it great. I'm curious to see how they work out a series in the playoffs. But if you can get enough out of them and kick it to the bullpen that they have, that's the recipe.
Gibby, Wells, and Bradish, all with ERA pluses over 100. I mean, there's your 3. And by the way, Bautista and Cano are sitting back there. Hey, reliever ERA sometimes doesn't matter, right? This matters. Cano's is 1.03 and Bautista's is 1.11. Hope you've got the lead in the 7th. Because if you don't, it's over. It's over. almost just fainted. Trev, is that the last American League Series? I think it is.
It is.
So let's get into some Interleague. Interleague is brought to you by the John Boy Media Store. Go get yourself some merch. I've been wearing too much of it lately, but that's because we've been cranking out some fire merch. Jess actually yelled at me this morning. That's why I'm wearing my Cult Leader shirt today. Our MLB players shirts are awesome. What's that, Trev?
No, I mean, we were trying to get that deal done for a long time.
I know.
It finally happened, and then we got our peeps. Who's doing the designs? I know it's
Sarah has gotten heavily involved with that.
Out.
She's got some flames emojis. Our guy Matt, Blake, I think Gavin's been chipping in there. So shout out to all of them.
They are actually incredible designs, and the t-shirt blanks are awesome too. So like better than what we had in the store before. Like our merch has leveled up.
Oh, is leveling up still in? I feel like that was cool for a little bit, and now it's kind of out.
How is leveling up not cool? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, I think it's still cool, but like even the phrase itself, like leveled up. All right.
We are better now than we used to be.
Know what I put on this morning? Got the blood flowing a little bit. Hotline Bling, Drake.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Boy, did that song have a moment.
You know, Drake's a guilty pleasure for everybody. It's like kind of embarrassing to love Drake, but also like he's one of the best artists of our generation and just puts out bangers. So like, how can you not?
What's his most recent like? Oh shit, like Drake. Oh, wake up, babe. New Drake banger is out.
Almost every song he puts out is kind of like that. I mean, go out to like a place that's playing hip hop music, it's a lot of Drake.
A Drake song's gonna come up.
And you know who likes Drake? The ladies.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, people. Who cares what you like? What gets the ladies excited?
Hotline Bling, big freshman year of college song for me. So
yeah, I mean, One Dance, God's Plan.
He moved out of my neighborhood. The Staffords bought all their houses.
God's Plan. The ladies love that song.
God's Clan. Let's do some interleague baseball. How's your M's? The Marlins versus the Mariners. And the Mariners, they win a set. And I'll be honest, I came in kind of angsty against the Mariners, and I was like, ooh, I bet the Marlins win this because they've been winning series and the Mariners haven't. No, don't funk with my heart, Black Eyed Peas. Mariners win the first game. Bryce Miller gets a bounce-back start that he's been looking for. Ya boy, George Kirby. Trev, I know you like him. 6 innings, 0 earned runs. Hey, that'll help get it done for you, but they run into Eury Perez on the final day. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs. Tom Murphy, Eugenio Suarez, and you know who had a 2-homer game for the Mariners in the second one, BBD? Mike Ford. How do you like that? Mariners take 2 out of 3. Rockies in the Sox. They played 3 up at Fenway Park. Kelsey Wingert killing it on the sideline. So was the rain. And we had a couple dramatic 10-inning games to start off. And we're putting the tarp on in between at bats. We got guys making their MLB debuts coming out during the Rain Fest. Kookiness. Rockies win the first 2. They sneak out a couple wins in Manfred Ball. Sox bounce back the final day. Whitlock, 7 innings, 2 earned run. Verdugo and Robbie Refsnyder get it done for them. Wow. How about that? Elias Diaz. He keeps going. Wow. All-star buzz? I did not have that on my bingo card this year. I wonder if there's some trade deadline buzz for that. Braves, they take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. Sure, Tigers were running hot. They win the first game. Spencer Torkelson, walk-off RBI single. I'd love to get him back in the mix, man. Baseball, it'll come at you quick. 3-hit day for him, though. Good for him. Braves, they come back. Doubleheader day. Michael Harris, 2. He's starting to go off. The Braves have been like hiding him at the bottom of their lineup. Basically didn't need him. Go catch balls. He's starting to go nuts. Acuna, that's all he's done this year. Albies getting some all-star buzz going. Braves beat the Tigers, and you're not surprised. The Cincinnati Reds, self-proclaimed America's team, and I'm not fighting them. They take out the broomsticks against the Royals, who, man, they just got another just absolute gut punch. Our guy Pasquantino is going to be out for the year. That just sucks. While meanwhile, you're watching the Cincinnati Reds having the season that Royals fans were dreaming of this year. There's young dudes doing it all over the field. Jonathan India, Matt McClain, will not stop hitting. And your guy B. Lively, Trev, 5.22 Ernie's again. The Reds have the sauce. It's something in baseball you can't really explain till you see it. The Reds have the sauce. They're an absolute electric factory. Ellie De La Cruz, Eduardo Perez was on Sunday Night Baseball saying his mom was flying out to meet him because she liked what he was putting out. And he said that matters. So guess what? I think that matters too. Reds sweep, and they are in the mix. And the San Diego Padres, they take 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. They couldn't fight off the Chris Rose effect. He went to the final game with his boys, and the Guardians got it done. They put up 8 runs. J-Ram, Naylor, David Fry, not in my book. Good for you, fella. But the Padres, their new formula, Gary Sanchez with that OPS in the 9s. Fernando Tatis Jr. with back-to-back homer games behind Musgrove and Waka on the mound. Padres, they win the series. They got to start doing that more, especially if the Giants are in the mix. Dodgers, they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, and that's obvious. Although I saw Dodgers fans, they're not as excited with their pitching. They're saying it doesn't feel Dodgers-esque. Catterday still works. Dodgers, they win 2 out of 3. We got managers ejected. Wow, long on the time. Astros take 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. And this series had a little juice, by the way. Davey Martinez, he's got the receipts. Some good chaos, an all-time manager post-game. Nats, I was watching an extra innings, sports gambling. And they pull out a nice win in Manfred Ball. Yankees and Mets have a mid-fest. We'll talk about that. Twins sweep the Brewers. Let's fucking go, baby. This team is special. This team is special. And that's what happened in a big interleague. My goodness.
It was rivalry week, man.
It was. It was rivalry.
More of this, to be honest. That mid-off in New York was only made palatable because they're from New York.
You ain't wrong, man. I mean, bad defense, bad.
Is mid-off cool to say? Because you say it a lot.
Tired bullpens coming off of rest days. Just pathetic stuff. Marlins, Mariners. Trev, give us your 10 minutes on George Kirby. I mean,
look, you got to start somewhere if you're the Mariners, right? Play good ball against a good Marlins team, up against some good pitchers. They get to Luzardo, and then Bryce Miller does his thing. Eugenio does what Eugenio does. They win the first game handily, second game as well. And then Eury Perez and Luis Castillo in a pitcher's duel in the last game. Gotta love that. Eury Perez kind of gets the better of him. Jorge Soler goes absolute deep fly against Castillo, and yeah, I'm happy for the Mariners. They always want me to pronounce them dead. Where are they at in the standings?
I was going to say, there's a conversation there with everything I oozed about with the Angels. Mariners.
5 games
Whoa.
out of a wild card right now. Sheesh.
Whoa. Jesus Sanchez. Huge home run robbery on your boy Eugenio. Would have been a grand slam. It ends up just being a sac fly, so that's a 3-run swing right there. And hey, I know we've joked about George Kirby.
Great start.
Couple stats there. I think it said the Marlins swung at 58% of his fastballs outside of the zone.
48%.
So when you got MLB dudes chasing like that, the sauce is real, and that's why Mariners fans make us talk about George Kirby, and good.
Sad note from the series, Luis Arias goes 0 for 9 to drop his batting average to 382.
That's kind of fucked up.
Does he stink now? No, just kidding.
Does he have options?
382, middle of June. You're a stud.
Mariners.
I guess that's even worse than that because that was coming after the second game. I just read that. But
yeah. Mariners, what do they got coming up? White Sox, okay. And then a road trip, Yankees and Baltimore. Fangraphs has them with a 20% chance to make the playoffs.
Mariners?
Yeah.
Or Marlins?
Mariners. I don't know, man. I mean, this is a team that... This is the window.
This is the window. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about all these teams right now and what they're going to do, but really for probably like 5, 6, 7 different teams, it's what are you going to do at the trade deadline? Make or break your season. I really believe that this trade deadline is going to be one of the better ones in recent years.
Really?
Because I just feel like look how close everyone is in the standings, and we have the expanded playoffs. So in theory, we should have more teams going for it. You have a couple teams that are kind of out of it that have some players that they like to get rid of. Like it's kind of like a perfect storm here for some blockbuster trades, and then a bunch of different ones. I mean, everyone's going to be after bullpen help. Everyone's going to be after starters. So what starters are going to be made available? And there's going to just be a bloodfest for these players. I think if you're a team that's like thinking about selling or is out of it, like I think you're going to come out like aces here because people are going to be willing to pay for a lot of different things come the trade deadline. And the Mariners are no exception to that.
I'll be interested to see. I don't know, again, how you measure best is always interesting, but it could be one of the most dramatic deadlines we've had because there's going to be a couple GMs that'll really have to like swallow their pride and punch that trade because supply and demand might be in a good spot for you, but you might be telling a team that had legit World Series goals coming into the season like, hey, you don't deserve extra help. In fact, we got to start thinking about the future.
Cardinals?
I mean, what? Can't add.
Mariners got a hit. Offense has got to go. Kelnick has come down to earth. He's got an OPS of 809 right now. He's the only one besides your boy Mike Ford with an OPS over 800. That ain't going to get it done.
Love when Big Mike Ford leans into one. Let's hop over to the Commonwealth, Trev. We had a cool Daniel Bard homecoming. Remember like the whole Daniel Bard story that we did a few years back? Yeah. His first appearance at Fenway since 2013. How's the past 10 years of your life been, fella? So that's kind of a cool story. Some rain tied into this game too much. I almost felt bad for Boston fans. There's a couple of bats that were sucky because of how much rain there was. And the other thing, where did I just have it? Oh, I don't know. I think this is just honest because we talked about it before the season, and we've highlighted the beauty of Mookie Betts and what he's been able to do. Our guy Kike got thrown kind of the shortstop gig this year, and Kike's an all-world guy and defender. Major league leading 14th error because he's been playing a lot of shortstop, and I know checking in on that, I was watching that game live. Some Trevor Story coming back whispers going on in Boston that he's going to come back and be the shortstop at some point. So that's something we put way in our rear view that I don't know, clearly hasn't been a solution for Boston. And hey, man, you know, Duvall came back from the IL. He's been struggling since he's been back. And if you're Boston, everything I just said about the Orioles and the Blue Jays and, hell, the Angels and Mariners, if we start talking wild card, and an interesting trade deadline, if you guys don't want to be part of the interesting part of that, like, we're in go time.
Yeah, I mean, a couple nice victories for the Rockies here in extras. We see Nick Pivetta walking in the go-ahead run. Bullpen and Piv out there. Dang, man. Nolan Jones had an incredible catch. I've been seeing his name a lot as of late. light tower power, making those catches out there in right field. So I wanted to shout him out. Elias Diaz is continuing to stay hot. He's going to be an all-star, which is awesome. Good for him. You know the story there. We talked about it. Mechanical adjustment. Bam, he's raking. Love that. One thing I liked for the Red Sox, the Whitlock outing.
Yeah, 7 innings.
I think this is what they need. I mean, they need that to happen more often than not. And he provided a really, really nice start there. It looked really good. Other than that, Red Sox got to go.
That Nolan Jones, really interesting. I mean, the guy was a top 100, top like 50 prospect for 2 years. The Guardians punted on him, which is odd because, think about everything we've talked about with the Guardians. And yeah, he's 25. He's hitting for the Rocks. And the only asterisk I'm going to put on there, the Guardians traded for like a prospect who's in the minor leagues, and he's young and he's doing really well. So like, I wonder if it's one of those things you look back in a couple years and it's like, wow, Nolan Jones has been good. And then it's like, oh shit, here comes this kid. I don't know. Nobody knows. That's the secret of baseball, but good for Nolan Jones, getting in and hitting a little bit. And hey, Rockies, trade Profar and someone else, and let's get Cole Tucker in the mix. Hot. Trev, Braves, Tigers. Tigers, I think you guys know it. It feels like things are falling off, so I think this will mostly be Braves. I'll give a little bit of bad news. Jesse Chavez, who our guy Peter Moylan was pushing for an all-star bid because he'd been so good out of the bullpen, has to get helped off the field after getting hit with a line drive. Another highlight for me, I had mentioned Michael Harris. He's starting to go nuts. And good for him because baseball can be scary sometimes when it starts going bad. He is raking. And I will lie. I will give one Tigers highlight, but two. Zach Short.
Yes.
Still be hitting. Mickey Cabs goes yard, and it's an electric factory. The hockey celebration in the dugout. You want to see a guy who's king of the world? Go check that out.
Yes. I wanted to give Zach Short a shout out before you wanted to give Zach Short a shout out. So I'll do it as well. Nice defensive play at second base there. I believe in the first game, diving to his left on a big hop. Nice play. A couple knocks. I think he tied the game up before Torkelson walked it off with a nice single there. He's been playing good ball, man. That's like makes me so happy. Like probably happier than anything else that happened in this on this sheet. Zach Short doing that. He's an incredible person. Very nice guy.
All you want is an opportunity, man. And he's the only active. No. There's 2 active Detroit Tigers that have positive OPS pluses right now. So, and he's one of them. And guess what?
Who's the other one? Is it Torkelson?
That's a good way to get some run. Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Carpenter been hitting a little bit. Right now, Riley Green on the IL. And was there another guy? Not really.
7th on the team in WAR in his smaller sample size.
Let's go Zach Short. Braves-wise, Money Mike, they've been waiting. I know the Braves, obviously, they have an outfielder in the minor leagues that people were screaming to call up because the Braves just call up minor leaguers and they're electric. Money Mike is putting that to rest as he's been one of the best players in baseball this month. And Trevor, Eddie Rosario, man, he's putting some swings on balls that, like, he's 31 years old. Like, I don't know. In my head, like, it's this old, like, 35-year-old Eddie Rosario that every now and then he does it for the Braves. He's 31. Like,
this is what Eddie Rosario does. He's going to go through lightning hot stretches for you. And if you catch him at the right time, look out because he can put the barrel on the ball with the best of them. Sometimes his plate discipline goes awry, but when he's locked in, it's a damn good hitter. And he'll make some plays in the outfield as well. Sometimes he'll be like, okay, what do you got going on there? But most of the time, he's a solid defender out there and can throw people out.
Ronald Acuna Jr., the NL MVP right now. Little Chris Rose action for you. Put you on the spot.
Him, Corbin Carroll. Who are the other guys I got to think of? Probably Freddie Freeman. I'd say yeah.
I think right now, yeah, him and Corbin's interesting. He's probably got him edged out, but yeah. Yeah, Frederick.
You know who's got, like, he might be leading the whole freaking place in WAR.
Who's that?
And he's not going to top these guys in NL MVP, like, at all, but Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah,
You
he's
checked out his stats?
tied for top 10 in WAR. You know, you want to know something else that's really sick? You know who's tied at 7th right now in WAR? Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Elite outfield defense.
Hey, we just mentioned Kim and Tatis, so let's do Padres guards real quick.
We're not a Cron pod?
We'll jump back.
While we're here,
we'll jump back
get
up
on the Cron.
We'll get back to your Reds because we still have to talk some NL Central. Holy smokes! I don't know. I guess I just said the Tatis part. I'm about to start drinking tears online about Gary Sanchez because God, that guy hits a chord on me, man. And I'm happy he's having success. Guard Dog salvaged the series behind Chris Rose.
Essentially, that's what you got, man. Padres playing a lot better ball, very similar to what the Phillies are doing. They're kind of getting hot. Kim and Tatis are a big part of that. I think they're 1 and 2 in defensive run saves for individual performance. Kim leading the league. How about this? I think it goes Kim, Tatis in right field. And you know who's third?
Gary
Short
Sanchez.
King.
Oh.
Short King. No, this is league wide.
League wide Short King?
Yeah. Third in defensive run saves. Dalton Varsho.
Okay. He plays a fun outfield. Tyro Estrada on the list? Okay.
Go Padres, go. That is, their bullpen is the second lowest ERA in the major since May 1st. Like, how important is a bullpen?
Dude, it's
like the most important thing. Like starting pitching, like it's still okay. So second most important thing. It's like starting pitching and then bullpen. Like everyone's gonna score some runs. Like you're not gonna like get blanked every game. Like you're gonna push runs across. That's just how the game works. Having a bullpen is so important, and it's the hardest thing to create. Like you can't go buy a bullpen. It's such a fluid, weird part of our game. It's the guys who are really good at the beginning of the season are probably going to stink at the end of the season. And the guys that stink at the beginning of the season are probably going to be good. It's like, It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, for the Padres, they're performing much better and the bullpen's doing that. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Musgrove and Waka were good in this. Just Jakey Fangraphs. Last 14 days for starting pitchers. They have Blake Snell as the number 1. Big stretch coming up for the Fathers. Hey, if we're giving Giants a lot of love, they're 3 games up on the Padres. It's almost go time. They've got 3 versus the Rays and then 4 versus the Giants. So this is a very big week for San Diego Padre baseball. Guardians, we'll get to you more. Trev's got some thoughts on the mids. Are the Reds America's team?
Oh. And look, here's the thing. Reds, it's been incredible to watch you do what you do. I love that you're bringing up guys and they're performing. And you want to be treated like a real deal contending team. We're going to treat you like a real deal contending team. We're going to give you snaps.
Okay.
You swept the best team in baseball.
Royals. Yeah.
Congratulations. Keep it going. We like where you're at. Are you America's team? No. But like we're rooting for you. If that's what you mean by America's team, I think pretty much everyone across baseball is rooting for you. Right?
No one's rooting against the Reds.
Until they like pass the threshold and maybe they pass the Brew Crew, pass the Pirates, and when they're in first place, be ready. Heavy as the head.
Yeah. I'm about it, that the energy, all of the kids, the fact that I look at their page and 4 of their top 5 prospects are on the MLB roster right now. I think I said it might have even been Wednesday or it could have been Monday. I said I don't think the Reds can win the Central. They can. And again, but that's more the Central than the Reds, and we have more Central talk coming. So get better.
Royals dropped 10 of 11. They're 0-3 in extra innings and have blown a lead in 23 losses this season, matching who? The Cardinals for most in the majors.
You want to start doing a fun game? If Aroldis Chapman is back to being Aroldis Chapman, start thinking about his trade deadline destinations. A lot of fun. Texas Rangers. You just mentioned the Padres. They'll do anything, right? Him and Gary back at it. Dodgers, White Sox. I don't have much here, Trev. I don't know if you're still on the pulse of LA sports. I know you've been gone for a while. Hey, I'd be giving the White Sox more snaps if they won that final game in 11 innings, but the Dodgers get it done. I guess I will say Jake Berger, he's putting together a season now, and he has my name and a food item attached to him.
Driven by his childhood home.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. A very Dodgers series. You take 2 out of 3, ho-hum. Gonsolin gives you a good start. You bash Lance Lynn for a couple runs, get out ahead, and you win the first game. The second game, the White Sox kind of came to play. I think they hit 4 or 5 different home runs in that game. You mentioned, did Jake Berger have 2 or 3 homers? 2, right?
He had 2. 2? 2.
Yeah.
First multi-homer game of his career.
Wow.
Yeah, Kershaw with another quality start, but the White Sox come take care of business, and then the Dodgers rallied back in that last game. They're inevitable, man. Like, you have to. It's hard to put them away. Put it that way. Freddie Freeman walks him off. If you're a pitcher and you have the guy in third base, less than 2 outs, and Freddie Freeman hits a long fly ball, do you still want your center fielder to go after it?
Yes, but even in the most lackadaisical way. Like, as long as Robert turned and gave a couple jog steps, and he did not. He just started walking in immediately, which is.
But it makes sense what he did, but also it's like, oh man.
Yeah, it's just there's some the optics aren't awesome.
You mentioned the Dodgers, and some fans aren't happy they're starting pitching. They're bringing up some kid from Double-A to make a start, who's been incredible. I got tagged in Twitter with that. I guess I can see if I can get up his name. He's had like an insane year in the minor leagues. Let's see if I can get it.
Well, you're getting that. Just people upset Jake Berger omitted from the All-JM team. His usage is weird. Half his games at third, half his games as a DH. 1 game at second, 3 games at first. So not a util, not third base, not DH. He just doesn't fit any position. So
he has our
at some
attention.
point he's gotta pick a lane. We like him.
Bobby Miller has done so well for the Dodgers. They're not afraid to bring guys up and just thrust them right in. And you like that one, Jake? Thrusting Emmett Sheehan. 88 Ks and 53 in the third innings in Double-A. That's a 14.9 K per 9. Yeah, like that electric fastball with a filthy change. Here he comes. Let's see if the Dodgers can do it again.
Tim Kirkjian said a lot of nice words about Pedro Grifol, which I don't know. I'm just going to put that in my back pocket for now because I don't know. I think we all just look at the White Sox and we're like, I don't know this guy. This probably won't work. So I don't know. It's not like Kirkjian was going to go on and say he stinks either, but he said some kind words. So I'm about that. Clint Frazier, go ahead RBI. And Chris Taylor joins Trevor Plouffe's prestigious 100th homer club.
Only player in the baseball's history to hit a grand slam for his first and his 100th homer.
Look at that. Wow. Trevi stats. Electric stuff.
We got to get going here.
Yeah, Chris Rose is going to yell at you. You know what? Houston let me down on a bet on that last game. They were the only leg missing from my daily parlay, so they're out. Pop. Yankees and Mets, you guys were a mid-fest. Trevor's whole speech about having bullpens, you guys couldn't have a bullpen the second game after an off day. You're both out for now. Trev, I'll give you a minute on the Twins.
Shout out Framber Valdez.
Hot.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Hot.
Continuing to do what he did. Hunter Brown, great job. Yes. Astros dealing with injuries a lot more than they're used to, but still right there where they need to be. You just mentioned Yankees, Mets. That's great. Twins with a nice series sweep of the Brew Crew. Always a good time in Minneapolis or in Milwaukee when those two teams play each other. Carlos Correa, man, I got a cool video of him hitting that walk-off. Devin Williams, 4 runs, doesn't even retire an out. Think about that.
Wow.
Think about that. 5-3 going into that inning. I think it was like a walk, a base hit. Michael A. Taylor led off with a homer, by the way. He's a giant.
The picture you posted of him and Morneau back-to-back was electric.
He says people always say that to him. Like, people come up to me and say, wow, you're a lot bigger in person. And he is. He's massive in person. He's finding his power stroke again. Correa is the story here. Walk-off, incredible celebration, everything. And then even in the next day, when they win 4-2, he's got showing great fortitude. Triple off a double. No, it was a triple off the right field wall. Like, he's firing right now, and that's great for the Twins. Bailey Ober, the nightmare, 6'9" Bailey Ober, doing his thing. It was the Twins are. I'm about to yell at them a little bit, but they salvaged a good trip for me. They started off 0-3 and ended up 4-4. So thank you for that. By the way, Yelich looks great.
Hot.
Spoke to him.
How was Yelly?
Great. Just same old Yelly.
Yeah,
he's old,
slightly happy.
Old school. He's old school. He's ornery. He's an old school ornery ball player, and I don't know if people know that.
Okay. Trev, let's start giving some more players love. Although we already gave a lot of players love, and this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's so easy to get caught up in all of it, man. My goodness. That sometimes you need to check in on yourself. That's kind of what I had last night. I was kind of like, where are we at, Papo? And I was okay. I was happy it was my friend Trev's birthday. Got a nice little weekend coming up. But guess what? A couple months ago, Poppy was in a bad place. Trev saw that. I was a mess. A lot going on at the company. It was not doing great. And guess what? Therapy can be a great tool for you to find more balance in your life. And BetterHelp, it's convenient, flexible, affordable, entirely online. Fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball. Wow. Today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. There's a link in the description. Standout performances.
So many guys on this list. This is probably the biggest standout performance list that we've ever had. A couple guys who didn't make it. JT Realmuto with the cycle. Bryce Miller doing his thing. James Paxton doing his thing. George Kirby doing his thing. I'm going with a guy who understood the assignment. Hogan Harris. In your book?
Hogan Harris's name is in my book, not his face.
First outing of the year did not go so well for Hogan. He pitched 1/3 of an inning, gave up 6 earnings, 5 walks. He had an ERA of 162. Since then, he's been in 4 games. He's only started 1, but he's pitched 22 innings to a 2.45 ERA. And on this day, on the reverse boycott day, our guy does it. Goes 7 innings pitch. He comes in after the opener in the second inning. Goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned runs, no walks, and only 2 Ks against the best offense in baseball.
Yeah.
The A's end up winning that game. Our guy Trevor May shuts the door. But Hogan Harris, lefty, doing his thing on a day where, those fans needed that. If they showed up and the Rays just blew them out,
right?
It's a lot different. We don't get to hear him be as loud as they were, but because of Hoagie, my guy, it's a storybook night that a lot of people will remember for a long time. So awesome on you for understanding the assignment.
Huge news for Hogan Harris. I had him as righty, so he is now my lefty Dane Dunning.
Oh, yeah.
So we're good.
He lefty.
He's in my book forever. And, dude, you're so right, and I'll tie this to Gary Sanchez in a weird way. The Padres went from having the worst hitting position in baseball to a guy on a heater. That feels doubly as good. Hogan Harris on the night of the reverse boycott against what's been the consensus best team in baseball. To do that, man, that's worth double. And that's how you get a standout. And now I know you're lefty, which is huge.
And it's Hogan Anthony Harris. So just remember, ha.
I like him. Louisiana guy. He's probably in on jokes. They make a different breed down
Loves crawfish boils.
Whew. Doesn't hate him. Trev, a fantastic standout. How's Barrios get missed? Ronnie and Mike, Nando. I'm just gonna make the layup, dog. It's Shohei. And hey, part of our responsibility to the people is make sure we're getting the info out. He has the most home runs in the American League. That's an impressive stat for any baseball player that's ever played. He has the second most strikeouts in the American League. That's an impressive stat for anyone that's ever played. And he's doing it both as one human when normally two different humans have to do that. So I'm sorry. It's a little basic, but it's right. And I'd be doing the people a disservice if he didn't get mentioned again and again. And bring me those playoff chills in Anaheim.
He's one dotting it right now. He's one dotting it, guys. And I don't want to hear it. This guy's the best player in baseball. Stop it. Stop it.
Fuck. I think you're right.
I mean, are you kidding me? And he's hot. Like, Max Kepler is by far the hottest guy in baseball, just looks-wise. There's no doubt about it. Like, it's not even close. But, like, Shohei, like, I think might be, like, the most eligible bachelor in all of baseball. Like, people want Shohei.
What are his late nights like?
Who knows? What's he got in his basement?
Whatever the fuck he wants. And guess what? He's about to get a lot more of it in his basement.
Hit it, Biebs.
Dirt nasty's on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Dirt nasty, getting nasty in what? Calabasas?
Woo!
For the series, JT, our guy, best catcher in baseball, 7 for 12, 2 doubles, 2 homers, hits the cycle, gets in a fight, everything you'd want in a hot boy. He's on my list. You know that. Michael Harris is second, 7 for 12, 2 homers, 5 ribbies. He had a 1.7 in that 3-game series. Manny Margot. What does Coach Ballgame call him, Jake?
The most electric player in the 2020 World Series.
The oohs and ahs guy.
Manny
6 for
Margot.
12, 4 doubles, 3 RBI for a 1.5 in it. He only has 3 homers on the season, and all 3 of them have come against the A's.
Yeah.
Love that stat. For the week, June 9th through June 15th, Jose Abreu, Cuban ball player, 9 for 27, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. He's reached 1,500 career hits, making him the 12th Cuban-born player in MLB history to reach 1,500 career hits. Zach Neto, I love it. 7 for 16, 2 doubles, 3 bombs, playing an electric defense.
He just got hurt. Yeah, I know it sucks.
I know.
Trev, you should reach out to
Oblique.
him. Oblique injury. Young
I'm an
ball
oblique
player.
guy.
Oblique?
Spencer Torkelson, 10 for 28, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 1.1ing it for the
wow.
week. For the 2 weeks.
Let's go.
This is the list you want to be on, and it's 2 people. I mean, 2 hot boys. We just talked about Shohei, 1.5ing it over the last 2 weeks. And then Ranger Suarez, last 3 games started 20 innings pitched, 16 hits, 2 earned runs, 18 Ks. That's a 0.9 ERA, a 1.05 whip. Ranger, you and the Phillies are going to make a lot of people happy out there. That's who's in Fuego.
Electric Trev. And by the way, he'd been like bad. Like, it's such a weird sport that sometimes it'll just click and go like that. Trev, we've mentioned a lot of injuries throughout. That Neto thing just brought us down. How about who's back? Buxton, your boy. Fairbanks, my guy. Joey Gallo, BBD's cat. And a couple others. But yeah.
Wilson Cruz, how about it?
A couple guys banged up. Let's get to the weekend right now.
Awards!
You have the honors, Trev.
Now, I was on a flight back to California. I did throw on Lord of the Rings. It's the greatest trilogy of all time. It's a great airplane movie. People look at you like, what is happening right now? You're on an airplane watching a movie that came out 20 years ago. No big deal. Doesn't matter. Was it 20 years ago? I think it was. I'm giving out the Ford Bruennen Award.
Ooh.
Now, after a tussle with the ring race and getting stabbed with a blade of one of the ring race, it's paramount that Frodo gets taken to Rivendell because he needs elvish medicine. Now, this happens in the books differently than it happens in the movie. I'll speak on the books quickly. It's Glorfindel, who's not actually in the movies. It's him and Aragorn racing across the Ford of Bruennen, and all of a sudden, the Nazgul are chasing him. There's 9 of them, and the river comes up and washes them all away. And they don't know what happened, but it turns out Elrond was there, and Gandalf was like doing his magic, and he like turned the water into horses, which is kind of cool. In the movies, it's Arwen, which is better, I think, because there's a scene. Aragorn is like, "Hey, you stay with the hobbits. I'll ride to Rivendell with Frodo and get him there." And she looks at him. She's like, "No, you stay with the hobbits. I'm a faster rider than you. Like, beat it, bro."
Yeah.
So she gets on the horse. She's got Frodo. The Nazgul are chasing. It's the best, like, the most iconic piece of film to me is when she's riding through like this plains area, and it's her and the 9 Nazgul like riding in back of her like in a V shape, and she's just going quick. And I love, she's like, there are 5 Nazgul approaching the other 4. I do not know where they are. And then boom, she ends up facing all 9 of them. She gets to the Ford of Bruennen, and she says one thing. She's taunting the Nazgul. She goes, "If you want him, come and claim him." And they're like, "Oh shit, like I don't know if I want to come near you. You're like a pretty badass elf." They're hesitant to get in the water. Then boom, the water comes down, tramples them all. See you later. She ends up taking Frodo to Rivendell. He gets saved. It's a beautiful thing. If you want him, come and claim him. If you want the division, come and claim it. Somebody start playing some good baseball in these NL or AL Centrals. Right now, the Twins and the Pirates are atop of these divisions, and they're both 1 game over 500. Toronto's 6 games over 500. They'd be in first place. The Yankees would be in first place. They're 9.5 and 11 games out of their divisions, respectively. The Philadelphia Phillies, who are 8 games back, who we talk about like they haven't even started their season, they'd be on top of the division. The Houston Astros would be crushing it. The Angels would be crushing it. Seattle will be a half game back. The Dodgers will be crushing it. The Giants will be crushing it. The Padres, who have underperformed all season, will be like 1.5 games back. These divisions need to go. Like, clearly, someone's got to win the division, but can someone go and claim the division? Like, hey, Twins, I love you. I'm following along. I'm there trying to make these broadcasts awesome. I want a playoff share. Let's go. Starting pitching has been there. Hitting's coming around, but like, can we have a sustained period of success? Can we figure out the bullpen situations there? Cleveland, what are you? What are you doing? Chicago White Sox, you're not, I mean, are you going to be part of anything ever? Like, what do we need to do to shake it up there? In the NL, Cincy, great story. You're still a game under 500. Figure it out. Milwaukee, what are you doing? We never know what you're doing. We just give you the benefit of the doubt because you made the playoffs some years in a row. But what's going on there? You're not hitting enough. You're not pitching enough. The Pirates, you got off to the start, you've fallen back, then you win some series, then you get swept. Like, what are we doing? Are the Cubs, are you for real? Are you going to trade everyone away? We need to figure it out. If you want it, come and claim it, please. Because I'm sick of the AL mids and the NL mids. Like, let's get some good baseball being played in these divisions. It's like not fair to the rest of the league. It really isn't. The fact that I could name all those teams and they'd be on top of these divisions, but they're instead 8 games back in theirs. and back in the wild card too. I don't love it, to be honest with you. It rubs me the wrong way. So this is my challenge. I'm challenging these divisions to figure it out. At least two of the teams go start playing some good ball. One game over 500 and you're leading the division. The Twins were leading the division when they were under 500. They got to go.
L6 from the Brewers right now is devastating. Your Twins, I mean, run differential, they're the only positive in the AL Central, and we know that team has more in them. The NL Central, I just don't know. The Reds have some serious juice. The only positive run differential in that division right now is the Cubs. And what are they about? They're a bad weekend from being in a bad place. I guess they're a good weekend from being like atop the division. So I don't know, Trev, you're right. And guess what? I think people would be tweeting out stuff like, this is awful for baseball and what are we doing? Guess what? I think actual baseball loves that conversation because I think we're a couple years away from adding more teams and realigning these divisions very different, and they'll point at this. That's the water coming through there?
No, that's not the water. That's the scene on the plains where she's running and she's got the 9 Nazgul behind her. She's in the middle.
Right.
And then I got one more still shot, and then I'm out of here to go talk to Chris Rose. I mean, Arwin is goated. If you want him, come and claim him.
I always want
baseball.
I always want my guy Jimmy here, but I would have loved to watch him react when you said, was it the horses turn into water or the water turns into horses?
Water turned into horses.
I would have loved to see him react.
I mean, you've never seen that scene? Like, please go watch the movie. It's badass.
Trev, I've seen it. And it is a great flight movie because that's a good way to basically end your flight instantly. Trev, go see Chris Rose as I tell the people very quickly and wrap it up about Eury Perez. And make the award The Rest is Still Unwritten, Natasha Bedingfield. Listen to that this morning after Drizzy. In Eury Perez's last 4 starts, 21 innings, a 0.43 ERA. We're seeing a lot of youth movement around baseball. You see it every year. It's why the landscape changes so quickly and so often. It's why the Reds are players right now. And guess what? Your team might be calling up more kids. Like I mentioned Luis Matos before. Is he a stud? Does that change the Giants' outlook? I know you guys probably all have young players on your team. Did Torkelson just click? Volpe change his stance? I don't know. Eury Perez is rolling. He's the 4th youngest pitcher to post a sub-2 ERA in his first 7 starts since 1913. This guy was touted as the best pitcher. He's living up to it. Miami is in play. And hey, we've done this every year with Miami. Is this the one where if they get into the playoffs, they can throw any combo of 5 guys at you? Sandy, Baby Jesus, Braxton, Edward Cabrera, Eury Perez. It's a team, and we've said it for so long, that if they end up in the dance, you genuinely don't want to see them. And now think about how many teams we've talked about. Padres, Phillies, the Mets didn't really get anything this episode. Supposed to be like the Mets year. They went out and got everyone, right? Baseball is in a fantastic spot. I think there's good, bad teams right now, or bad, good teams, or however you want to phrase it. But like the Mets being under 500, the Padres? These are the teams we wanted to root for because they spent. But right now the Marlins are ahead of them. Eury Perez is a big part of that. And it's electric, man. So with that, Diesel, not talking Vin, maybe Shaq, DJ Diesel, episode of Talking Baseball. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you back here Monday. We're building up to an electric all-star game, which we'll be at. We sold a lot of tickets already.
Links in the description to that. Jake sucks.
You guys are the best. Are we sneaking up on 100 subs on YouTube?
Slowly but surely, about to crack 86K. So you listen this far. If you notice you haven't subbed,
Let's go.